So what Peter really does is he finds new approaches for minimizing the time to transfer data between large distributed computers. He acts as, I think they've said before on one of their websites, a traffic controller for large scientific computers. But what his work really does is allows other researchers to work towards solving large problems. He makes things that were out of reach reachable. Peter, you have certainly made a significant contribution to your profession, and we are very proud of your accomplishments. We are also excited to see what you do next in your career. You are a great example of what Elon students can achieve.
There are a number of people here at Elon that unfortunately are not here today, but who I would wish to thank for their role in getting me to where I am today. First of all, I'd like to mention Bill and Vicki Hightower that were in the computer science department when I was here, and they were really the ones that introduced me to research and sort of laid a foundation for the work that I'm doing today. I was also talked into doing a physics major by Professor Frank Harris. I'm not sure how I agreed to do that, but in the end it turned out well, and it's actually for the position that I have now at Lawrence Livermore Lab. It's tremendously valuable to have this physics background because a lot of the stuff we do is this big physics simulations and experiments at the lab, so that's really great. Finally, I would also like to acknowledge tennis coach Tom Parent, who also is not here today, but he was really like a father away from home to me. I grew up in Sweden, and he's the one who recruited me and then got me here in the first place, so I'd really like to thank Tom for all he has done. And I think I would also like to share a little bit about what Elon has done for me and how it's really changed my life in so many different ways. This might come as a surprise to some of you, but Elon was the only school I got into. Okay, I applied to all these universities back in Sweden, did not get accepted anywhere. And I probably would have gone on to become an entry-level programmer somewhere and never had a chance to get a college degree. So Coach Parent called me up and said, hey, how would you like to come to Elon, play tennis, and get a college education? I'm like, okay, I have nothing better to do, so maybe I'll do that for a semester, go back to Sweden and reapply again, right? So I came to Elon, and literally after the first 2 weeks, I told my parents, I'm probably not coming home. So I really fell in love with the place, and of course I've stayed in the U.S. ever since. There was also another Elon connection that really changed my career path. I knew that I wanted to go to graduate school, and I had decided on going to Duke. That was my top choice. I had also gotten into Georgia Tech and a few other schools, but I didn't really know much about them until I got a phone call from Larry Hodges, who was the director of the Graphics and Visualization Center at Georgia Tech, and said, you and I had the same physics professor. So he had also worked with Frank Harris about 20 years earlier, but said, how would you like to come down and check us out? So I did, and I got a chance to see what a wonderful graphics program they had, and that was really what I was interested in doing. So if it weren't for that phone call, I would have been a numerical analyst or something like that, graduating from Duke. So that was great. Finally, I also want to mention a very special connection and a very special lady. Carrie Hudzinski got her degree here from Elon in 1993 and decided to go get a master's degree at Georgia Tech in the same department that I was working in. And she had found out that I also went to Elon, and she thought that was kind of neat, so she called me up and said, hey, I'm coming to Georgia Tech. Do you think you can help me find a roommate? And I'm like, I actually need a roommate. So I'm happy to say that 2 days ago, Carrie and I celebrated our 13th wedding anniversary with our kids, Johanna, who's 10, and Eric, who's 7 years old. And so if it weren't for Elon, none of these things really would have happened. So I'm tremendously grateful for all the opportunities and everything that Elon has done for me. And I wish I could repay you in some way, but it's really been great. So thank you very much.